All right, studio time check says it's 36 minutes gone past 6 a.m. Now 37 minutes gone past 6 a.m. Today is the second day in April of 2026. I'll start by saying happy new month. It's a wonderful opportunity again to begin again. It's the start of a new month. It's a wonderful time to start over and, be the best that you can. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of all your states. We're broadcasting live from the Wells Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole State, Ibadan. That's where we're broadcasting live from this morning. I'd like you to follow us across our social media platforms. You find us on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, on Instagram, X, TikTok at Wells Radio 893. You can also listen to us live from wherever you are in the globe via our website, www.wellsradio893.com. So you can find us in all these places. Of course, you can also listen via Radio Garden. Find us on Radio Garden. Just search Wells Radio. That's radiogarden.com. You can also find us on onlineradiobox.net as well. Just search Wells Radio and you'll be able to listen to us on these two radio directories. So welcome once again. The show is Perspectives Unlimited, where we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the dailies in Nigeria. We talk about these stories, we delve deeper, we go beyond the news. We try to make sense of these stories with our analysts, and of course we also hear from you. We get feedback from our listeners. All right, you're welcome once again this wonderful Thursday morning. And the good news is I'm not doing this alone. I'm joined by Kunle. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How do you do?
Very fine, thank you. And yeah, it's really an exciting morning. I'm speaking to you on this microphone for the first time, and it's really exciting.
Definitely. And to our listeners, you're hearing a new voice, albeit a wonderful, voice that is here to, just like the Wells Radio slogan, is here to take you on the wholesome journey, inform you, entertain you, and educate you. You're welcome to the family.
Thank you very much.
Kululu.
Thank you.
All
very
right.
much.
Our head of news and current affairs.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that.
All right, this morning, Kule and I will be taking you across the headlines, making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. We'll be taking a look at the headlines, and of course, our analyst is here. But before we get into analyzing this morning, because as our analyst said, we have so many things to analyze this morning, so let's get started. I have the Vanguard newspaper. I believe you have the Punch newspaper.
Yes, I have the Punch newspaper.
I also have the Daily Trust newspaper. Okay, do you want to start with the Punch newspaper?
Okay, so on the Punch newspaper this morning, the largest caption reads, INEC derecognizes Mark Aregbesola party's revolt. That is on page 2. And of course, we have another story. ADC PDP Obi rejects INS stance on Mark and Aregbesola. Parties accuses APC of inciting INEC, vows resistance. And also, INEC insists decisions guided by court ruling sacks Nafiu Gombe as ADC chair. All of the story you can find on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Also about Plateau killing, Tinubu visits Jos, IG deploys mobile police. That story, if you're interested, is on page 7. In other stories, Wike fires back at Bauchi governor amid PDP crisis. That story is on page 8. Manufacturers face 60% interest rate. That's according to reports, and that story is on page 9. If you move over to page 20, 2027, APC resumes e-registration. PDP faction claims 4.2 million members. Wow, that's a large figure. And also families of detained officer protest at a National Assembly. That story is on page 2. Also, local investors improve 72% of 4.6 trillion naira. That page, if you like some money, is on page 9. And also on page 7, FG declares Friday, Monday holiday. That is to celebrate the Easter. And those are the stories we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, the lead headline says ADC setback for Atiku will be others as INEC axes Mark Aregbesola. The writers to that story, we have names of David Mark Aregbesola removed from its site as National Chairman Secretary. Will also not recognize their challengers in court. Says it will neither communicate with them nor monitor convention/congresses. That story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. More headlines: fresh tension in Jos as curfew relaxation triggers attack. The writer says Unijos orders hostel evacuations over heightened insecurity. Tinubu postpones Ogun trip, heads to Jos. That story is on page 35 of the Vanguard newspaper. More headlines: DSS detains El Rufai. Court fixes April 14 for bail ruling. That's on page 9. NNPCL targets 7 cargoes of crude oil supply to Dangote refinery. You find that on page 22 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Wike Bala Mohammed at loggerheads over PDP, APC. The writer says you're responsible for PDP's problem. Bala tackles Wike. Another one says your exit from PDP, good riddance, says Wike. That's the reason on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Okay, so moving over to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, the largest caption, just like we have on Vanguard and Punch: INEC withdraws recognition of David Mark-led ADC. And the two writer stories, the list details from its portal, says it won't recognize any fraction of party until court ruling. That story is on page 8. And also, CBN concludes banking sector recapitalization, raises 4.65 trillion naira. And the writer's story, 33 banks meet requirements. That story is on page 6. And on page 2, APC rules Bala Mohammed. Atiku visits Kwakwanso. And also, 30 students, teachers hospitalized over suspected gas leak in Ogun State. That story is on page 16. And also, courts vacates arrest warrants against PDP fractional chairman, that's Turaki. That story is on page 3. And World Bank backs Nigeria's reform progress. That story is on page 7. And on page 13, Kaduna Court rules on El Rufai's bail, April 14. If you're interested, grab a copy of Nigerian Tribune and you find all the stories. And also, Tinubu visits just today, postpones Ogun trip. The two writer stories, Unijos direct emergency evacuation of students as tension rises in Jos. Mutwag meets Tinubu. That story is on page 1 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
All right, and finally on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, the lead headline says INEC stance fuels opposition suppression claims. That's on the front page of the Daily Trust, continued on pages 3 and 4 this morning. More headlines: Plateau crisis escalates as government relaxes curfew. You find that on page 5. Motorists stranded as youths protest hardship in Edo. That's on page 30 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 2027 APC governors, lawmakers push for automatic tickets. That's what is on page 23 of the Daily Trust newspaper. These and many more will bring to you on Perspectives Unlimited this morning. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. And at this point, we bring in our analyst, Mr. Olaliko Sani. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, madam.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
We thank God. So we're definitely going to get into the stories, take a good look at them, and of course discuss them, primarily the INEC situation and of course the unfortunate attacks in Jos. But we'll take a short break. When we come back from that break, Perspectives Unlimited will continue, so don't go anywhere. Please stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. It's still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We're, of course, starting with the headlines quickly. This headline on the Vanguard newspaper, which is also on the front page, says ADC rejects INEC's interpretation of appeal court ruling on its leadership. It says the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has rejected the Independent National Electoral Commission's, that's INEC's, interpretation of a Court of Appeal ruling concerning the party's leadership dispute. In a statement issued yesterday evening, the party's National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, accused the electoral body of acting under external pressure. He said, and I quote, "We reject at INEC Nigeria's interpretation of the Court of Appeal ruling. We knew that INEC was being pressured by a government that has become jittery from the ADC's rising momentum, even in the face of its relentless assault on all opposition parties," as according to Abdullahi. So what happened basically is that INEC removed the names of Senator David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola from its portal as the national chairman and the national secretary of the ADC because the leadership of the ADC is currently in dispute in court. So apparently the former deputy, I'll leave that to our analyst to do the explanation. But the question I want to ask this morning, so you can take us to where did we start from, getting to this point. But then the question I have is that looking at the way INEC has been very involved in resolving, if I use the word, inter-party disputes. They've been involved with the PDP, they've been involved with the Labour Party. I would say that more this year than ever, this time around than even the last elections. Number one, is INEC supposed to be doing this? Is inter-party issues they are, part of their mandate? And does it then seem as though INEC has become partisan?
Thank you very much, madam. Going by what the Electoral Act says, which should be the guiding principle for INEC, there is no section of the Electoral Act that says that INEC shall be an arbitrator should there be dispute among political parties. But despite the fact that whatever INEC suggests or advises may not be binding, you may not say that, it is totally, or should I say it's outrightly illegal. It's just an advice. Put things in order in your party for the sake of your party. When they did that for the PDP, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew too that it was not going to work because these were people who had different ideas. A section of the party wanted the party to be strong, to be formidable, to be able to present candidates, while the other section of the party wanted a situation where they are going to say, we want Bolanle to continue. How do you reconcile?
Allegedly.
No, it's not a matter of allegedly. Wiki has said that he is going to lead Bolanle to re-election. There is no allegation in that. It is a statement of fact. That's by the way. As far as I'm concerned, what is happening right now can be interpreted in two different directions. There is the political interpretation for it, and there is the administrative interpretation for it. Let's start with the administrative interpretation because INEC is the one taking decisions right now. I like what is happening. Joash Amokbiton has come out openly to tell us that he is a card-carrying member of the APC, as far as I'm concerned. And I will tell you why. Let's focus on what the court said, because what they are saying now is that they are responding based on what the court said. And they have come up with a very, very faulty interpretation of what the court said. I accused Amokbiton of being an APC member because he should know, being a lawyer, not just a lawyer, a professor of law, and not just a professor of law, a senior advocate of Nigeria. The judge said that status quo had belong. What that means is that go back to where you were before litigation. Litigation started, if I'm not wrong, around December last year. And David Mark had been the chairman of the ADC before December last year. So going by the interpretation of the court, go back to where you were before December.
So status quo leaves David Mark as the
chair. No court order in Nigeria, not even a magistrate, not even any Ilé-ẹjọ́ Kokokoko said that David Mark should abandon role as chairman. Nobody has said that. Instead, what they are saying is that, okay, Nephew Balagombe, we have heard what you said, but we cannot leave that party in a vacuum. Let the status quo remain while we listen to you. After we are done with your case, then we may now come up with a verdict that is going to put you in office as a chair or leave David Mark permanently as a chair. But
Sani,
for now, let David Mark remain as the chairman of the party. That is what the court said. But when INEC was going to interpret it yesterday, they said that they are going to remove David Mark. And I should tell you something, madam. That is a very, very serious thing to do. INEC does not have the right, by the virtue of the fact that they are not supposed to be members. It's the members of the party that we choose who the leadership of the party is. The leadership of the party has said that, the members of the party have said that this is the guy who is going to be our chairman. It takes a court judgment, not even an injunction, a court judgment to remove the chair of a political party. That judgment has not come from anywhere. And INEC has taken a decision that only a judge can make. It tells you clearly that INEC is not independent.
In addition to this, there have been many calls, for INEC to maintain a status quo as an independent body, as a body that should be devoid of loyalty, to any party. Some have alleged that we all know that the ADC has been planning its congresses starting from April 7. And this particular, will I say, judgment or court statement to maintain status quo had come on March 12. It's been over 2 weeks. And just a few days to the ADC Congress, INEC has decided to make this move.
What INEC is trying to do is to create a problem, a very big problem for the party in future. Now it's going to be a case
Would they be able to hold their congresses? Their congress at this point?
Things are not very, very rosy for the party right now, minding the fact that there is a public holiday on Friday, there is public holiday on Monday. They know exactly what they are doing. And I won't say that they won't be able to hold their congresses, but that is clearly what INEC wants. INEC wants to, if you do not control the word, if you don't control the word, you cannot, if you cannot have a successful world congress, you cannot have a successful local government congress up to the federal. Do you get it? So they're trying to create a foundational problem for the ADC. That is what they are doing. But thankfully for the ADC, courts are open today. They should approach. There are things you can file that this is a matter of urgency. There is room for it under the law that you can even get judgment today. It is possible. So ADC's lawyers should be in court as early as 7 a.m. this morning. In fact, they are, as far as I'm concerned, they should be at the gates of the court. Let's now go into the political interpretation of this. In all seriousness, I am pleased.
But you've always been a vocal. You've always been very vocal when it comes to ADC being the opposition vehicle.
That is why I'm saying that I am pleased with what is happening right now. It's a statement of fact that I am not in bed with the ruling party, and for the very first time, I see them in a state of jittery. They are doing this out of frustration and fear. They know too well that at this particular point in time, they cannot organize a formidable team against a formidable opposition.
So you believe that the ADC is a formidable opposition?
I cannot say that they have a formidable opposition at this particular point in time, but I can tell you that they are giving the APC a reason to have sleepless nights. And that is not far-fetched. The number 2 guy in the last election is now in the ADC. The number 3 guy is now in the ADC. The number 2, number 3, number 4 guy in the last election are now in the ADC. In all seriousness, the APC has been touting that, we have done a very fantastic job and Nigerians love us. Nigerians love you and you are afraid of elections. No. You know too well that you have been doing horrible things, and now that the chicken is about to come home to roost, you are now afraid of your own shadows. What I know for a fact is that there is no way they can do this. It's not going to be successful, I can tell you that. Nigeria is not a one-party state. Nigeria is not Congo. Nigeria is not Liberia. There will always be an opposition. That is certain. It is evidently clear now that Joash Amokbito is far worse than Mahmoud Yakubu. And that is a shame. But guess what? It is personal shame. As Nigerians, I believe that we deserve a plural democracy. And I believe that we are going to get that plural democracy, whether they want it or not.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's still talk about a little about this political crisis, if I may say, going on with the ADC, the PDP, the APC, INEC, and all of that. You have said that once something is there's a case in court already, then definitely you are not supposed to dabble into it until the court has actually made a pronouncement, a clear one. Now, INEC is saying that they are taking away the name of the ADC chairperson at the moment.
David Mark.
And INEC is saying they are not recognizing him because of that. Isn't it right that once there is a case in the court already and they do not say that the party should maintain status quo, then don't you think it is proper for INEC to actually say what they have said?
Thank you very much. INEC cannot just wake up and make a decision on their own. You will have to rely on whatever the court says. And the court has said it openly and in very, very clear terms that maintain status quo.
The court said that clearly?
Yes. What that means is that let the existing exist. Do not touch what is on the ground until there is a verdict from us. That verdict has not come. And yet, INEC is acting ahead of time simply because they want to create a foundational problem, like I said earlier, for the ADC, that is now going to open the door for contest as regards whether the ESCO is valid, and it's the ESCO that will organize a primary. If the ESCO is not valid, the primary most likely will not be valid. So they are trying to create a problem in the future for the party. And that is a shame, because if it were to be someone who doesn't understand what the law says, one could have said, okay, maybe it's pardonable. But it is not. Joash Shamubiton is not just a lawyer, like I said. He's not just a professor of law. He is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He understands what exactly is happening. He only wants to be silly as far as I'm concerned. And the truth of the matter, like I said, is that this shouldn't be at all. It shouldn't be, because the very first the I in INEC stands for independent. Clearly, INEC is not independent. And guess what? The guys in the ADC said something day before yesterday. They said that they were very, very sure that the ruling party was actually nailing on the neck of INEC to do what they did yesterday.
Those are allegations.
No, wait. They said two things, and I'll prove those two things. Number one was that they were kneeling on the neck of INEC to declare the leadership of David Mark to be illegal. That's number one. Number two, they said that the APC was also planning a protest at the headquarters of INEC to canvass that INEC should recognize nephew Bello. Guess what? APC, that was what the ADC said. And guess what? Those two things happened. People gathered at the headquarters of INEC yesterday to say, oh, we want nephew Bello as the chair of the ADC. Number one. Number two, late yesterday, INEC came up acting on nothing as far as I'm concerned to say that David Mark will no longer be the chairman. I mean, in all seriousness, give it to the ADC guys. They know what the APC is doing and they are ahead of them. I am not canvassing for the ADC. I'm not particularly interested in the ADC as a political party. I am only interested in plural democracy, where the Nigerians are going to have options as stated by the Constitution. And I believe that one way or the other, we will get there. Abacha did it in 1998. There were 5 political parties that were supposed to have 5 different candidates. All of them said they were going to adopt Abacha. God didn't adopt Abacha. Abacha died in the middle of the way. Obasanjo wanted to do something like that in 2005, 2006. He was, booted out of office in a very shameful way, such that he was crying just a couple of days before he left office. Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to be very, very careful. We are all aware of what was supposed to happen on the 1st of October last year. That didn't happen. As far as I'm concerned, as an act of providence, God intervened and kept his life. If you have been a follower of a Nigeria social media space, you will realize that the average Emeka is never in consonance with the average Abdullahi. But if you are looking at what is happening right now, since all parties, since all gladiators converged in the ADC, everybody has come to unite. And let's say, okay, this is the path we want to take in our country.
Sorry, Mr. Sani. So,
please go ahead, sir.
Talking about this unity, and everybody has come together to unite. And I following what you said, APC, they are scared. Yes, they are scared. That's why they are.
I
trying
believe
to play.
they are. They really
you
are.
believe they are scared. Yes, in your words, and that's why they are playing these funny games. We know politics is a game.
Okay.
And we've seen a lot of defections, especially from the supposed opposition party, which should have been PDP. And right now, I think we have about 31 or 32 governors who have actually, who are in the APC at the moment. So now let us even say this is what the game plan is. And we've seen what happened in the last election where Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, when they allegedly said that maybe they would have defeated the president if they didn't split the vote.
Yes.
Now, isn't that what is playing out again?
That is what is playing out. Now that the two of them now understand that it will be very difficult to defeat the incumbent running on two different platforms, they have now come together to say, let's fly the same ticket. And I understand that the guy who came forth in the election also has come into the mix to say, I want to be part of this. That is the only reason why the APC is jittery. And in all seriousness, I don't see the APC as a popular political party in Nigeria right now. This government, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst in the history of this country. And yet you think you'll be able to hold Nigerians from expressing themselves on the day of election. You are only going to eat up the polity to a point where you will not be able to handle. And like I told you the other time, there is now a convergence of ideas, of peoples, of ideas of ethnic basis in this country. Do you think you have what it takes as a government to confront the people? It has never worked, and it will never work. It benefits the president to do what is logical, to do what is sensible at this particular point, and that is to allow plural democracy. It's better to lose an election than to face the people.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, okay, so I think we should quickly leave INEC and the ADCs and the PDPs alone for now, and let's talk about something else. The headline on the Punch newspaper this morning: Plateau killings, Tinubu visits Jos, IG deploys mobile police. The story has it that President Bolanle Tinubu yesterday actually postponed his scheduled trip to Ikweru, Ogun State, to prioritize a condolence visit to Jos, Plateau State, over last Sunday's attack that left at least 27 people dead. The decision comes after President Tinubu met with Plateau State Governor, that's Caleb Mufwang, at the Aso Rock Villa on Wednesday evening, that's yesterday evening, where the governor briefed him on the security situation in the state. Also, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has ordered the deployment of police mobile force units and other technical teams to Plateau State. This special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Nanuga, revealed this in a statement he signed yesterday entitled "President Tinubu postponed Ogun trip, heads to Jos as he begins 4 days state visit." So my question here is, we heard about the story last Sunday about the killings in Plateau State. That was on Sunday, yes. That's Palm Sunday.
Yes.
And a lot of people they've said a lot of things about it, the insecurity in the countries. We heard of abductions, killings here and there. And now the president says he's going to Jos himself. Do you think, is this a political statement? Is this what the president is supposed to do? Or rather than visit, do you think this issue should actually be tackled head on rather than him paying a condolence visit to the state?
Thank you very much. We should ask the question. We should ask the president a question. And the question is this: Mr. President, sir, what exactly are you going to do in Plateau State? I don't get it.
So you think it's not necessary?
Of what significance is his presence in Plateau State? I'm not saying that he shouldn't go anywhere. The president can go wherever he wants to go. But what does he want to achieve by going to Plateau State? Something of this magnitude, in fact, of a bigger magnitude, happened in Benue State. And I was there in person. What has happened afterwards? More killings.
More killings.
Nobody is interested in where you are as the president. You can't afford to be reactionary as the president of the country. Your job is to secure people. Is he now going there to the Bolanle to say, oh, I'm sorry that I failed in doing my job and 28 people got killed? I mean, is that going to bring people back? You can decide to be in Abuja for all I care and do your job. He has not been doing his job. People have been dying, and he has been the commiserator in chief for the past almost 3 years now. of what significance is him going around saying, "Oh, like I can predict him. Cowards did what they did." The truth of the matter is that you and I are not interested in cowards. What we are interested in is security. If there was security in Plateau State at that date, the so-called cowards would not have done what they did. So it's Mr. President's failure. He's going to go ahead to say that he's assuring the people that such will not happen again. We have listened to that at least 1 billion times, and things are still happening. It didn't end on that Sunday. Nasty things happened in Sokoto that same Sunday, Kaduna that same Sunday, the following Monday, Tuesday, up to yesterday, bad things are happening up and down. So if it's about traveling around to say, oh, it won't happen again, that means the president cannot even have a port of call, because before you arrive here, something must have happened in another place and you now change your destination. I mean, that is not what I am interested in. Let's discuss the facts. They upped the budget yesterday and they added an extra 9 trillion. And they said that out of the 9 trillion, the armed forces will be getting 2.3 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. News broke out on Wednesday, was it Tuesday or Monday, that the armed forces between 2023 and 2026 February got 2.3 trillion naira extra. You know, most people didn't get it. It wasn't their budgetary allocation, it was extra budget allocation. So for 2025, they got around 5 trillion. Add that to, let's say, another 1 trillion. 2026, 6 trillion. Had another 2.3 trillion that they gave them, making 8.3 trillion. Had the usual one, making 9.3 trillion. Where exactly is that money? I personally believe that Nigeria does not even need 20% of that money to instill discipline and to bring this country to a reasonable point. But what we keep saying is more money is going into insecurity. And the more money flushes into insecurity in Nigeria, the more insecure we become. So the question now is this. I mean, is it wrong to conclude that what is happening right now is intentionally permitted to continue so that more money can be voted into insecurity?
On that note, Mr. Sunny, let me ask this question. Now, the other time you made reference to what happened in Benue, and I recall that, you know, when the president had gone there, he said, oh, the chiefs of, you know, the army, everybody should relocate, they should come over to Benue. But we heard from the people of Benue days after that no one was, they were yet to show up. The ones who had shown up had gone back. We also heard the same story in Kwara State, where the community that was sacked or ravaged had said that they had gotten a letter initially, and they had the head of the community had said he had gone to the army outpost or the DSS outpost, I can't remember now, and they had posted, and they had posted people there, but days after, those people left.
Not just days after, moments before the attack.
Yes, you know, those people left. So the question here is, at the armed forces, now the police, IGP Disu has also said, they're moving more.
Yeah, a DIG is going there.
Yeah, they're moving more people there. And we'll reel out the studio lines in a minute so we can take our calls, but I want you to respond to this. So does it mean now, is it that our armed forces and our security people are not interested in fighting this battle?
I think they are interested in keeping the status quo. Let's borrow from what INEC misinterpreted. They are borrowing from they want the status quo to continue so that they can continue to have a field day financially. That is my hunch. The governor of Plateau State said that not once, not twice did he have reasons to call the Nigerian military that, oh, I got intel that these bad boys are coming. And they drafted men to the particular location where they felt the bad boys were going to strike. And minutes before the bad boys struck, the Nigerian military personnel disappeared. I mean, what are we talking about here?
All right, the phone lines are open. Apologies. The phone lines are open. You can be a part of the conversation. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-333-3893. We see those of you who have been calling, but of course want to provide a level playing ground. That's why we had to put out the phone lines. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
You're
You're welcome, Aduekun. Please go ahead.
Concerning security, security has now taken a new toll in the country. Just take a look at it. As at yesterday night, when I logged into Facebook, a friend of mine told me that they have started shooting in Just Gate. They have started killing people, which is not how it's supposed to be. When are we going to overcome this base of insecurity? The presidents are warning that you should please look into this. They are killing people here and there. It's not the right way to go. And they should ensure that security rights and properties of people are being ensured. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aduekun, for your contributions. We'll take a short break now. When we come back from that break, Perspectives Unlimited will continue, so don't go anywhere. We still have many stories to take a look at. Do we take this call before we go on the break? Okay, let's go on the break. We'll be right back.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you're welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited. We're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the country. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning
Yeah,
to
good
you.
morning, West. Good morning,
welcome,
West Radio. All right, ma. Good morning. Hello. Can you hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear
we
you,
can
sir.
hear you. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Thank you. God bless you, ma. My name is Salem. I'm calling from my water. Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Morning, sir.
All right, sir. God bless you, sir. You see, it's laughable, honestly speaking. Because it was, you see, I later decision to derecognize David Mark-led ADC is so retrogressive to Nigerian democracy. I think the last that I recall was in the 80s when NPM became so intolerant of opposition. And definitely, we also out oil and debts. But believe me sincerely, not even the era of the military, that we were witnessing political oppression just as it's currently happening in Nigeria. I can only pray and wish that our politicians, the ruling party, would tread softly and let us continue to have democracy in this country. But it's appalling, I must say. May God help us. Thank you. Good morning.
You so much, Mr. Salami, for your contributions. The phone lines are open 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-333-3893. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, my Ruth calling from Malacca.
You're welcome, Ruth. Please go ahead.
Thank you. You know, the reoccurring insecurity in our nation can no longer be addressed with routine condolence visits and ineffective security deployment, because it's time for the government to act on time. These are innocent lives being lost now. they should please do the needful. We can't continue like this. So if visit does not yield anything, this is not the first time of being visiting, and nothing has been done since then. So you should please take all tactical means in finding solution to all this insecurity. Good morning.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
My dear brother, please permit me to go back to ADC. I mean, we said we were done with ADC and INEC, but please,
Okay.
something just clicked in my head. I saw social media postings yesterday, and things I saw on social media are things that should have made the court send Nafiu Bala to 6 months in prison, or at least contempt, in my opinion. Letters are everywhere of this guy resigning from the ADC. When Ralph Nwosu resigned, it was Ralph Nwosu before.
He has alleged that he didn't resign.
Guess what? I saw INEC's acknowledgement letter accepting the guy's resignation as well, and that was in October of last year. The guy that INEC admitted to have resigned is now the one going to court to say that, I should be the chair of the party.
Isn't it then simple that ADC, should have that? The ADC led,
the Mark-led faction of the
ADC should then, tender their evidence.
That is exactly what they are doing
that
in court. But INEC said that we are not interested in that, despite the fact that they accepted that this guy, had resigned as of October last year. They are now saying that, it's a free-for-all fight and we have to fold our hands until we know who. I mean, that's nonsense. And in all seriousness, like I have been saying, it can't work. It just cannot work. The only thing they can achieve at the end of the day is eating the polity beyond control. I don't want that, because I know what that means, and I don't want it at all for this country.
Right. Now, on the front page of the Daily Trust, we had this headline, 2027 APC governors, lawmakers push for automatic tickets. The All Progressives Congress, APC, is currently grappling with demands from federal lawmakers and state governors for automatic tickets ahead of the 2027 polls. Now, reports indicate that senators and members of the House of Reps are demanding guaranteed slots from the party to return to their seats, while outgoing state governors seeking to vie for Senate seats are also making demands for the senatorial tickets of the party. Party sources say no official decision has been made, but several meetings are being held to address the issue. And insiders reveal that the party is treading carefully to avert a crisis in the build-up to the primaries. Now, one of our analysts, Mr. Chukwemeka Amunashiso, has said several times on this platform that APC is just a step away from implosion because everyone is coming to the APC for their own reasons, mostly because they want to vie for seats and they believe that that's the party, that's the vehicle that will help them. But forgetting that some people have already been members of the party for a while and have nursed intentions, being loyal and faithful to the party. In the light of this, do you think that the APC is going to have a smooth ride?
There is no smooth ride for the party. And, I don't know if you can still remember, I was singing Party Scatter the other time. The truth of the matter is that no matter how big a house is, there is a limit to the number of people the house can occupy. The APC now has more people than it can occupy, and that is what I believe is going to be the albatross of the party. Any and every politician's intention is to be in office. And there are so very many people who want to be in office within the party already. The president has been going around hunting opposition members into the party, and now a lot of them have come to the party. But guess what? It has also come with a lot of challenges, because the people who were in the party before the new guys came are now feeling betrayed. And no one can tell what they are going to do. Against the run of play, if I'm not mistaken, maybe for the first time in the history of this country, a serving lawmaker left the APC just 2 days ago. I'm talking about Honorable Philip Adbese in Benue State. It has never happened, at least to the best of my knowledge, where somebody who is in the ruling party will leave the ruling party for an opposition party. It happened in this dispensation. And that is just a little peep into what I believe is going to happen in the party. The party is, at this particular point, sitting on a container load of gunpowder. And they are just a fire stick away from explosion. I wish them well whatever happens in their party. What I do not want is that a situation where the country is going to experience hiccups and all of that. If it's an internal party, if it's an internal issue of the party,
All right, the phone lines are open. We have just a few minutes to conclude the show. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. On our Facebook fan page, we have a couple of comments. And Solomon Sheriff says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. APC have 31 governors in their sides, majority senators and House of Representatives, but they are insecure and scared of a free contest with the main opposition party. This is indeed a legitimacy crisis. What do you expect from the INEC chairman appointed by Tinubu? Adedamola Okunlola says, beautiful morning to you in the studio. The rate at which insecurity is ravaging our land is heartbreaking. Why is it difficult for this APC-led administration to find a lasting solution to this menace? Nigerians have been clamoring for state police for a while now. It is yet to be approved, but when the federal government wanted to borrow billions of dollars, the Senate approved it very fast. This government knows what they are doing. Thank you.
I think we should make a reference to the loan. I don't know if you would want that.
Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of things that common sense cannot process that are happening in this country right now. The country should not be borrowing a dime. Rather, we should be paying up our debts. In fact, the agreement we should be having with lenders right now is, okay, we said we would pay back in the next 10 years. Can we pay back today? And the reason for that is that Nigeria has way more money than anybody thought we could in 2026. The benchmark for crude is less than $65. As I speak to you right now, crude is going for around $107. That is almost two-folds of what we budgeted. That means almost two-folds of the money we will be making this year. But guess what? The government is borrowing almost 9 trillion. Extra 9 trillion. To do what exactly?
But are we not sold almost all the crude oil we are making in advance?
Who sold it?
The last administration.
No, sir, that's a very big lie, sir.
Okay.
It's a lie they have been spreading around. It is this administration that did Project Gazelle. It is this administration that borrowed $3.3 billion, but has committed oil to the tune of $12.4 billion to pay back that loan. If you want us to go into that, I can't go into it. Please let me go into it for 2 minutes, please. When this administration came on board, that was they came on board in April 2023. Around September, October, they said they wanted to borrow $3.3 billion from the Afrexim Bank. You would have expected a straightforward relationship between Nigeria and Afrexim Bank, but no, they didn't do that. They went to the Bahamas to incorporate a company. It was now that company that was going to borrow $3.3 billion on behalf of Nigeria. The common sense behind that, I don't know. Okay? NNPC is going to be the guarantor for that company. But guess what? Nigeria will not be paying Afrexim Bank with crude. Rather, Nigeria will be paying that company in Bahamas with crude, 90,000 barrels per day. And it's going to run from 2023 to 2029. If you do the mathematics, going by $77, now crude is 107, going by $77, it would be $12.4 billion in 2029 for $3.3 billion loan. Sir, that is outright stealing. You mismanaged the economy. You loaned out the country's future. Miracle happened along the way. Money doubled. Income for the government doubled. Instead of you to talk about how to find a way to clear that mess and other things that you have done, you are borrowing money. Should I tell you something, sir? Last year, government allocation for capital expenditure was as good as zero. Let's make reference to health sector. They budgeted 218 billion naira for capital expenditure. They released 36 million. 218 billion was what was budgeted, but eventually they released 36 million, not billion, 36 million. And the government is making way more money than ever, in the name of tax, in the name of royalty, everything.
So
Borrowing.
is this for a fact, sir?
I didn't say it. The
That's
Minister
a good
of
start.
Health said it at the National
Hello,
Assembly.
good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
Woman. This is Gringa Mario calling from Africa.
You're welcome, Mr. Mario.
Yeah, I think INEC is not helping matter at all. How are you can have an alternative to INEC? When yes, I'm to come the INEC here. We are happy that it's going to change the kind of change in INEC. But now with what he's doing, it's becoming, we are seeing as a team. It's as if INEC is working as a team. For this present ambition, which is not a group, democracy should be allowed to thrive, no matter the number of political parties we have in this country. If it's ABC and some other party, let everybody go to the field and let the masses choose whatever they want. INEC to me is wearing their stick as if they are God. INEC should be checked, and I didn't trust them. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mario. Mr. Sani, on the note of what we were saying, we don't have so much time left. I like to ask this question. Now, you talked about money signed, money's released, and we've been having this conversation, I believe, since January, if not before then. How can citizens get involved at this point to checkmate the government, to be sure that this money that we've been told is being put out for this, is used for this, is being put out for this, is used for this? How can the citizens get involved?
Number one, Nigerians need to ask more questions as regards how their country is running. That is it. Many Nigerians are not interested in what is happening.
Is it that they're not interested, or they're not sure they're going to get answers?
It's that they are not really interested. A lot of people have lost hope. That is the truth of the matter. And nothing is bigger on the scale of foolishness than losing hope in your country. That is it. Because you don't have another country. Even if you naturalize and become the citizen of another country, your home country remains Nigeria. We can't afford to let go of Nigeria and put Nigerians permanently in the hands of vultures. No, I'm not for that. Nigerians need to be more informed. They should be more interested, and that is why I woke up early morning, and you guys as well, to come here so that we can enlighten the people. What we will not do is to tell lies, but for as long as it is the truth, trust me, we will keep saying it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sani. And for citizens who are interested in knowing, how monies are being spent, how monies are being released, you can start this morning by visiting budget.org. That's budgit.org. They have trackings of the spendings and releases of the government. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sani.
It is always an honor to be here.
And I must say thank you to everyone. It's been an interesting journey and an interesting show.
Absolutely.
All right, my name is Bolanle Oduekun, and I'm signing off saying have a wonderful morning and God bless you.
Yeah, my name is Kunliolo. I'm saying good morning and God bless you.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
Not just another radio station.